PSA is going to keep buying at 90%. So why shouldn't you take advantage of that and try to get some pretty good deals to either buy bigger cards for yourself or to save up money for Christmas or buy a new car. You know, you're gonna have to do some work, do some research. Be very cautious about the angles of photos. Do you see how this angle is facing down? And it's really hard to tell top to bottom if it's centered or not. And same thing on the back. I mean, you can tell immediately. And always zoom in on the backs, by the way. I always zoom in on the back so you can pick this stuff out. I mean, I saw it before I clicked on it because I've done this so many times, but you can see immediately the whiting on that. No go. Right? Sorry, Tico Alto. I mean, the scans are hard. Like, I know a lot of people use the scanning apps and stuff. For me, I would not, if I'm doing something like, if I'm buying a binder copy, hey, whatever. If I'm buying something from one of my master sets or my son's master sets, I might look at this stuff. But if I'm buying it to grade specifically or to resell on my Whatnot lives, I need to see the whole card. I need to see this on a darker background so I can see the whiting. This just doesn't do it for me. I can't make a good decision on that, especially for grading. So this is 79 bucks for auctions. Let's take a look. Sometimes you can get good deals if you can snipe it, right? It looks like it's gonna be a little bit top heavy, but left to right looks pretty good though. Let's take the back. There's whiting in the left corner. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably pass on that, to be honest. Opportunities are endless. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how I would do it, how I'm going to do it, and then we'll follow up here in a couple months and see how it goes. So I'm looking for cards that I can grade that will be 3 or 4x the value of the card plus the grading fee, and then minus obviously selling fees. A lot of people sell on eBay, so we're going to try and take that into account. I would personally recommend selling locally as much as you can on Facebook to save on those fees. The first one we're going to start off with is the Charizard. Up to the infinite. So what I'm looking for are cards that are highly desirable Pokemon, cards that will either 3 or 4x after grading, and cards that have a decent gem rate. So here, that's the criteria. That's what we're going to look at. So the first thing we're going to look at is this Charizard. Raw right now, you can pick this up raw locally at card shows for 80, 85 bucks all day long. Now I will say that this card is pretty hard to gem. You can see there's been a ton graded, 11,375 in 10, 23,000 in a PSA 9. So I would definitely make sure you guys are taking a really good look at your cards, and just make sure the centering is good. If you can get the centering nailed down for PSA and no whiting on the back, I think you guys will be good. It's worth sending it. Now I'm personally going to do this at the $79 regular entry because I want to get these cards back 15 to 20 days. I do not want to wait 65 business days for the $15 grading bulk. That does not sound desirable to me, and that is a cash flow nightmare. So for the purposes of this video, we're looking at cards like this. And then we're going to add to our list, and we are going to try to try to make some plays this weekend at the card show. We'll see if we pick anything up, and then we'll do a follow-up video next week on when we actually submit the cards. So obviously, sitting at 93 bucks, and I'm going to show you how if I was going to buy it off eBay, I would show you how I would buy it off eBay. So 93 bucks raw, 616 in a PSA 10. And what we're thinking about here is not necessarily that you can sell locally, but taking advantage of PSA when they make offers to you. And for top tier cards, they usually pay between 90 and 100% of comps. So you send it into grade, you pay for the grading fee, and then instantly they'll give you an offer back if it's a desirable card, and you can literally just sell it, and then you can just rinse and repeat as many times as you can. I'm not saying that's great advice. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm going to take advantage of this and try it out, and then we'll see how it goes. So anyway, so we're going to go to eBay, and we're going to start looking. See, already it's 90 bucks. And what I'm looking for on eBay is cards that are well centered, which this is not. You can tell immediately that this is right heavy, and then I wouldn't even waste my time. I would just immediately click off, and we'll go to out. And honestly, I'm okay with paying strong on cards like this. This is left heavy. You can just tell immediately. A lot of this is time as well. Don't spend a lot of time. If you know immediately that it's going to be off, don't waste your time. Right heavy, right? The centering is just not going to be there. This is why the centering for this card, I mean, this is why the grading for this card is so tough. You can tell a lot of these are off-centered, left-heavy. Let's go back and look at another one. This Charizard, the hyper rare cards, um, you know, it's a decent gem rate. My only concern about this is that I'd be into it for a little over 100, right? Which is still a pretty good deal. I'm still gonna more than double my money. And you can pick up for $30. You could pick up 4 or 5 of these, and all you got to do is gem 1 or 2, and you'll be good. Terrible photos, by the way. The gold cards, the edges on the gold cards are what you have to worry about because they kind of chip off a little bit, that foil. So just be careful of that when you're looking at the gold cards. Really pay close attention to see if you see any divots on the top or on the top of the sides. This one actually looks pretty decent. Let's take a closer look here. I mean, the centering looks great on this card. It might be a little left heavy now that I'm looking closer at it. The back. You want to see cards with the dark background because it's hard to tell if there's whiting. And we're trying to grade, so we need to make sure it's pretty clean. And this is also where it's important when you guys make purchases on eBay and you get a good experience and somebody accurately describes a card, you definitely want to save that seller and then come back to them later because you know they're accurately describing their cards and what the condition is. So then you can repeat buy from them knowing that you're going to get a good card. So that's definitely a good tip. And I do buy a lot on eBay. So, I mean, sometimes you got to take a risk, right? Right heavy on this guy. All right, so we're over 2 on this. Let's see, prior. I'm doing this live, by the way. This is how I would normally do it if I was going to do it. Again, it has to be a popular Pokemon or it has to be like Ninetales. Again, you can see the PSA 10 rate. It's about 45%, which is good for the purposes of, you know, keeping the pop count low. And again, for $20, you could spend $79 to grade it, which is a lot. And then you know, after fees, you'd make $120 per card. You can just, and especially if you're doing it with eBay, I mean, with PSA directly. I mean, you could literally just turn this into a cash machine as long as they're paying 90%, 90 to 100%. I mean, so again, we go to eBay and don't buy any of the stuff on TCG Player. For grading purposes, I would just stay completely away from TCG Player because there's been so many horror stories that I personally had. Near mint is not the same to everybody. And it may still be near mint. Technically, with whiting on the back, a little bit of whiting, it is near mint. It's just not a gradable copy. So just keep that in mind when you're doing it. Ninetales, I mean, this card is stunning in person. I love this card. I mean, the centering looks pretty good. I don't like this angle because, again, you can't... When you're taking pictures for eBay, by the way, fellas and ladies, dead on straight photos, okay? People want to buy stuff that they can see. A clear picture of what they're getting. This is not great. Even there's the whiting on the back. You see it right here on the top. So again, this is definitely a hard pass. Let's see what else we got. I mean, there's no back photo. No go on that. There's no back photo, no go. $30, right heavy on this guy. Again, when you're doing these kind of things, if you can immediately eliminate it, just move on to the next one. Centering, it looks like it might be a little bit right heavy. Yeah, pass on that guy. I'm looking for stuff that's going to be no question on the centering. Because if you're questioning the centering, then everything else has to be perfect. And there's no reason to do that to yourself. I see a white dot right here. Little white dot right here on the right. That's no go. Let's see, $19. Again, with these angles, it's hard to tell the centering. I mean, the back looks phenomenal. Actually, the back looks great. Let's go back and see if we can get a better, maybe zoom in on the front. Yeah. I mean, it looks like it. It looks like the centering's pretty good on this guy. Actually, I think I might actually buy this. I mean, it's at $19. It's from a seller has a lot of reviews. The shipping is atrocious. $7.50 for a $19 card is. Maybe I won't buy it actually. We'll just save this guy and see. Well, maybe I'll offer him a little bit lower. Did he have offers turned on? He did not have offers turned on. So I probably will not buy that card actually. The purpose of this, I'm saying with English because there's a lot wider margins you can work with. With Japanese, I mean, it's tight. So paying the expedited fee for Japanese cards is not ideal because there's not enough margin for you if it doesn't get a 10. What I still cannot understand about 151 is like it's like the one set that just I have not mastered yet, I have not figured out. Um, it's $20 a pack, and the top chase is 250 and falling, by the way. Um, and then you can go to Prismatic, and it's $10 a pack, and the top chase is 1,000, with a bunch of other chases that are between 100 and 900. Um, I know it's not all about the money. For the purpose of this video, it is though. And so, you know, like this Charizard, it how many thousands? Like 23,000, right? 23,000 pop count. This thing's been graded a ton of times, with a pretty good gem rate. I mean, that's, you know, between the 9 and the 10, that's a pretty good gem rate. And I've seen these locally for less than 250 now, and the prices keep kind of falling. So I don't suspect it'll stay that way. I think once it finally goes out of print, which we're going on 3 years now, I think these will start to move back up. The guy at 340, I mean, so this is definitely a little bit more of a risk when you're spending this much money. It's not the same as spending $20 and trying to flip it into 250. Now you're going to spend 250 and flip it into 1,200. So that there's definitely a little bit more reward, but there's also a lot more risk. $300. I mean, for 300, if you're going to pay 300 for a card that's going for 250, it needs to be perfectly centered. Like this guy is this guy is way off centered. So that's a pass. I mean, so you can kind of see where I'm going with this left side here. Again, this is only for eBay. I recommend if you're going to grade cards, go in person. There was a card vendor this past week in Oklahoma City, and they were from Kansas City. And his binder, they had no. This is another good tip, by the way, when you're going to card shows. If you come up to a vendor table and they have no graded cards and they only have binders and they have raw cards in the case, that means they don't grade, right? You can definitely find some gems in their binders because they're buying a lot and trading a lot for raw cards, but they're not grading it. They're not interested in grading cards. For them, it's about the flip. It's about turning over raw inventory and not waiting on the grading. That is where you're going to find a ton of cards. And I did find a ton of cards, and I already sent some off. And I always forget to make videos about my grading plays, by the way, but I will start doing that. So that's definitely a huge tip. If you come to a table at a card show and they have a lot of raw inventory but no graded inventory, that's where you can find some good deals. And you can pay strong. You can pay 90%, 95%, because you know that hasn't been picked through, and you know that they don't grade cards. So there's definitely going to be some gems there, so make sure you take advantage of that. Let's go back. I don't want to focus too much on the more expensive cards. Let's focus on the cheaper ones. That we can, because the goal here is to flip 3 or 4 times, something that's affordable that you guys can do. I mean, Alakazam is one of my all-time favorite cards. This card is so awesome. Let's see where we're at here. We're talking $50. I picked this up for, I think, 40 at the card show last weekend. You can see, I mean, popular. So it meets our criteria, right? Popular Pokemon. It's a reasonable price. You can spend $79 and grade this, and more than double your money. I mean, this is perfect. So now the goal here is to find one. I mean, for $42, I don't think this is going to be worth it because you can tell there's a reason why it's 42. Way off centered. All right, let's go with the $50 one and see. So immediately the centering looks fantastic on this card. I mean, it looks great, and it's $50. My only concern is, I'm not saying, yikes, nope. You see that? Okay. Let's see if he put it in the description. I'm curious. Nope. All right, so definitely be on the lookout for that. If it doesn't say that there's damage or there's whiting on the back, and maybe it's a glare. See, what do you guys think? Is that a glare or is that white? That looks like whiting to me. Maybe I'm wrong. All right, let's go find another tip you could do is find like tag 9s or BGS 9s, and then crack them to send to PSA. For sure, definitely do that. That'll be another video where we search for graded cards that we can crack and slap. The centering looks amazing on this card. Let's look at the back. A little white dot here. There's nothing else wrong with this. There's not another white dot. Like that looks like it might be that bottom left corner right there. Yeah, you can't. So if it was just this white dot, I would send it. but it's not. It's just white dot, and then also this white down here. So I would not do that one. And there's so much in the market, right? There's so many 151 cards that you can be picky because there's just so many. Let's see here. That centering looks great, and this is on a dark background too. Yeah, this looks great. So yeah, I like this. Free shipping too. All right, so we're gonna save this guy. I'll come back. You definitely need to take your time and don't rush through things, and definitely bundle things together and you get a better deal. As long as you can get the cost, as long as you're reasonable with your buy costs, and you know that you can check Pokedata.io or you can check TCG Player or eBay about what cards go for in a 10. There's a pretty good chance if you could look for cards specifically that you can grade at the higher tiers, the faster tiers, and you could really you could literally send in 10 or 15 cards a week and just keep it going, right? And that's kind of what I've been doing. I've sent in 6 cards or 7 cards every week for the last month, and then I'm starting to get those back, and even PSC is starting to make me offers. And I don't really sell graded cards in my whatnot streams because those guys are animals, and they never get anywhere near comps. So anyway, that's the video for this week. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Make sure you guys like and follow and subscribe if you guys are interested in this kind of content. And I'll continue to push this stuff out and grow the channel. And I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks.